Let's put the concepts of segmenting by behavior and usage to work. Segmenting your customers by usage requires you to do some data analysis. When you analyze your internal data on purchase patterns, profitability by customer, and order volumes, you can then divide your customers in either by deciles or a Pareto method. With either approach, you start by figuring out the factor that matters most to your company. If you have the ability to assess profitability at the customer level, that's likely the best measurement tool. However, in some service businesses, it's hard to determine which customers generate what levels of profit. The one who spends a lot of money may also consume a lot of staff time, so you can't always judge simply by revenue. Even in a traditional product business, you have different gross margins by product line, so revenue isn't always the best way to start your usage segmentation work. Some businesses segment by unit volume. This is how most airlines segmented their customers until a couple of years ago. Now it isn't just the number of miles flown that matter. They also use the total dollars spent by the traveler as part of their usage segmentation methods. Another approach is to develop usage segments based on share of wallet. Quite literally, this means you look at the total dollars a customer spends or has the opportunity to spend during a given period and project what share of that total spend or wallet you are getting. For example, imagine you sell a product to hospitals that's used to help newborn babies, and you know from researching birth records that the 3 hospitals in town delivered a total of 1,000 babies last year. Because General Hospital was your biggest customer by volume and revenue, you might assume they should be considered your most important customer. But at Community Hospital, you have 90% of their share of wallet. You may want to consider them as a more important customer because they appear to be very loyal to your product. To help determine which method will work for your company, I suggest creating a list of possible usage segmentation buckets and discussing with others on the team to reach a consensus. Once you've landed on the key metric that's going to matter most to you, the decile approach says you simply take your customer list and divide it by 10. Your top decile will be the 10% of your customers that score highest using the metric that matters most to you. Then you can determine if you want to focus on getting more business from the top deciles or generating more growth from the lower deciles. The Pareto method says that you focus on the customer that brings you 80% of your most important metric. In many businesses, this often comes down to about 20% of your customers generating 80% of your revenues or volume or profits. Uncovering information to help segment your customers' buying behavior can be done in several different ways. Some insights can be found at looking at your own data. How many of your customers pay with credit cards versus cash? What type of delivery options do they request? Or are there certain hours that are busier than others for your business? Companies that are really good at segmenting by behavior will gather the data they have on their customers, bring together a group of people who understand the business well, and brainstorm different insights into these behaviors. One level up from analyzing your own data is to use market research, where you interview your customers to gather insights into their behaviors. This can be done via phone interviews, surveys on the web, through email, or by face-to-face discussions. If you choose to interview your customers, the key is to use a good moderator who knows how to guide the discussion without leading the witness, so to speak. Companies who are best in class using market research techniques to better understand their customers place them into behavioral segments performed what is called anthropologic research. Essentially, what they do is recruit customers and non-customers to participate in studies where the researchers can observe how the target market uses the product in their natural environment. Some of the big consumer product companies will actually go into a person's home and watch them shave to better learn behavioral characteristics around product usage. Not everyone has the resources or time to compile the necessary research and develop these insights on their own. Luckily, there are some companies that have already done the work for you. For example, check out the website consumerbase.com and look at the tab called Consumer Lists. This organization has surveyed and monitored a wide range of consumers for a number of years. By analyzing patterns, They've developed lists of people who have behaved in certain ways in other product categories. As you start to think about segmenting your customers and targets by behavior, do some self-analysis. When you fill your car up with gas, do you walk into the convenience store and buy some items as well? If so, you're in a behaviorally segmented group. In fact, the store owner likely knows some things about you that you may not realize about yourself.